So here we are, it's Thanksgiving week here in the United States, and it's a time when a lot of us decide we're going to take this next week and do the best we can to enjoy it. And after all, it is Thanksgiving week. Now, so that's the case, we want to enjoy it, but you know, all of us have things going on in our lives, things that we're not necessarily happy with, things that maybe cause us to worry. Maybe we're pulling our hair, or maybe our child is pulling their hair, and we just haven't been able to solve that problem yet. And you know, we're worried about that. We have those concerns. So how do you actually go about enjoying your Thanksgiving week? How do you actually go through your week, and maybe here comes Thanksgiving Day, and you actually are able to feel like you have something to give thanks for? How do you do that? I want to talk about that next. So here we are coming up on Thanksgiving, and the question is, how do you make sure that you enjoy this week? How do you do what it takes to make sure that during Thanksgiving week you actually have a good time? That instead of worrying about all the stuff that normally goes on in your life, and all of us, by the way, have stuff going on that isn't working, stuff that makes us feel bad, things looming in our world coming up that, you know, maybe there is to worry about or feel bad about, or whatever it might be. We all have the good in our lives and the bad, okay? But all too many of us spend way too much time focusing on what's not working, or focusing on what there is to worry about, or what could go wrong next day or next week. So what do? How do we take this next week, this Thanksgiving week, and turn that into something we really enjoy? Well, I'm going to tell you how you do that. You decide where you're going to place the focus of your mind. So let me give you a metaphor. I want you to imagine your mind, your world, your experience, your life as a huge warehouse that's filled with a lot of stuff. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on there. You know, it's a dark warehouse. You walk in, it's a dark warehouse, and in any given moment, your attention is focused on this or that part of it. Think of it as taking a huge flashlight and focusing your attention on some part of what's happening in your world. Notice that if you focus your attention on this thing over here, focus your flashlight on that over there, it may be something that when you look at it makes you feel good or bad, or somewhere in between, or neutral, okay? Then if you take the focus of your attention, your mental flashlight, and focus on something else, you'll feel good or bad depending on whatever that thing is. Maybe it's a really exciting thing in your life, and you look at that and it reminds you of something great, or it's a part of a great memory in your world, whatever it is, and then all of a sudden you feel great. But then, you know, you could take that flashlight and focus it on something over there, and that's really, you know, that one over there, that doesn't feel good at all when you look at that. But see, so many people go through life and they spend all of their time, or a great majority of their time, focusing on what's not working in their world, what causes them to worry or feel bad. And so on an ongoing basis, they're feeling bad, which is not only bad for you mentally, but psychologically and physically as well. So what do we do about that? Well, the first thing you do is you realize that in any given life, there's going to be something you can think about or be happy about, you know, and maybe even be grateful for. You know, it's Thanksgiving. What's that about? It's about giving thanks for the blessings each of us have in our world. Now you may say, well, I don't have any blessings at all. And I'm willing to bet that while that may be true, chances are there's something in there that if you decided to look for it, you could actually find something there. That's my guess. Now, if you're not sure what there is to be grateful for, maybe you could ask yourself a question. And if nothing comes up right away, you need to wait a few minutes. But you could ask yourself, so, you know, if there were something to be grateful for in my life, what would it be? Now, you may need to do some thinking about that. It may take a few minutes to come up with something, but that's a great question. I mean, if nothing comes to mind right away, I mean, let's think about this for a second. If you're watching this video, and if at least, you know, you're in a Western country, the United States or Canada or Europe, or I know not all of you are, but if you are, you know, it's a pretty good situation to be in. You're probably living in a home. You know, you probably have heat in the winter. That's kind of cool because, you know what, not everybody does. I know it's easy to take these things for granted, but you probably have good food on the table. And yeah, you know, in your life, things aren't going perfect, but maybe the little things there are things you could be thinking about, focusing on, and just taking some time to intentionally be grateful for. That's what cultivating an attitude of gratitude is really all about. It's about realizing that in any given world, in the warehouse of your world, where there's all kinds of things going on, depending on where you shine the flashlight of your attention, that's when it's going to cause you to feel good or bad or whatever else it might be. So be intentional about what you focus on. Sure, you may still be pulling your hair, or your child's still pulling your hair. There's a solution for that as well. You're looking at it. It's not what's happening, it's what you do with it. Okay? So I want to encourage you to look at the various parts of your life that maybe you just don't pay enough attention to on a regular basis. Be intentional about focusing on what there is to be grateful for. And if you do that all week, maybe you'll find you enjoy the holidays maybe more than you usually do. So I'm Robert Mantell. I'm the founder and executive director here at the Trichotillomania Relief Specialist. Thanks so much for watching. If you're watching this video at our Facebook page or our blog site, feel free to leave a comment, ask questions. We look through all of those questions, and when we get one that a lot of people seem to be asking, we'll do a video about that, and we may even inform you directly that we made a video to answer your question. Okay? And if you want to get more information about our services, go ahead and take a look at the contact information here on the video. We'd love to be able to talk to you and see how we can help you out. Thanks again for watching, and here's wishing you an amazing Thanksgiving and an amazing trick-free week.